Dust spiraled in the late afternoon air as the people of the village gathered in the square. They had seen strange things before: merchants selling glass beads, travelers bringing news of distant wars, but never had they seen something as absurd as this. Raghav, a wealthy landowner, stood in the center with ropes in his hands, staring fiercely at the sky. Around him, poles jutted into the ground, covered in sheets and cloth. He had hired men to build strange wooden contraptions, nets and sails that flapped wildly against the breeze. "What is he doing?" whispered a woman. "He says he will capture the wind," replied another, half mocking, half fearful. Raghav had grown restless with life. His fields were fertile, his granaries full, his name respected in the village. But his heart burned with dissatisfaction. Others owned land, others grew crops, others gathered wealth. He wanted something no one else could possess, something that would make him greater than all. And so he chose the wind. "If I can own the wind," Raghav declared, "I can control everything. Ships will need my permission to sail, mills will need my blessing to turn, farmers will bow to me for the rain, the world itself will depend on me." Day and night he labored. He tied ropes, spread sails, and ordered his servants to trap the invisible. But the more he grasped, the more the wind mocked him. It slipped through his fingers, tore through his nets, shredded his sails, and left him with nothing but noise and broken wood. The villagers laughed. Some pitied him, but Raghav grew only more furious. One evening, after another day of failure, Raghav stormed to the edge of the village, where an old sage named Devnath lived in a hut among the banyan trees. Many came to Devnath for wisdom, but Raghav had never cared for him. Now, desperate and angry, he sought his counsel. "Old man," Raghav shouted, "tell me how to master the wind." The sage looked up from his meditation, his eyes calm as still water. "Why would you want to master the wind, my son?" "Because," Raghav growled, "if I own it, I will be greater than all. No one will surpass me. No one will laugh at me. I will have power beyond kings." Devnath smiled faintly. "And yet here you stand, tired, angry, and mocked. Tell me, has the wind bent even once to your will?" Raghav's face flushed. "Not yet. But I will not stop. I will tie it down even if it takes my life." The sage rose slowly, leaning on his staff. He gestured for Raghav to follow him. Together they walked to a hilltop where the evening breeze brushed gently against their faces. The sun was sinking, painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson. "Close your eyes," Devnath instructed. Reluctantly, Raghav obeyed. "What do you feel?" the sage asked. "The wind," Raghav said softly. "It touches my face. It cools my skin." "Does it ask your permission?" "No." "Does it belong to you?" "No." "And yet, does it not serve you? Does it not carry the scent of flowers, the coolness of evening, the freshness of rain? Do you not breathe it every moment of your life? Without it, would you not die?" Raghav's eyes opened slowly. The sage's words sank deep. "The wind is not yours to own," Devnath continued, "and it never will be, but it is yours to walk with, to learn from, to live within. Power does not come from owning the wind. Power comes from moving with it. The farmer who turns his mill to face the breeze, the sailor who sets his sail to its flow, these are the wise ones. They do not fight the wind. They align with it." Raghav swallowed hard. For the first time, he saw the foolishness of his struggle. He had wasted his strength trying to imprison something that was meant to be free. The sage placed a hand on his shoulder. "You are like the wind, Raghav. You were born to move, to give, to flow. But when you try to own what cannot be owned, Whether it is wind or people or even time, you destroy yourself. True greatness lies not in control, but in harmony. That night, Raghav dismantled his contraptions. The villagers watched in silence as he cut down the poles, freed the torn sails, and released the broken nets. Instead, he built windmills that ground grain for the entire village. He placed water wheels in the river, turning its current into power for all. No longer did he seek to own the wind. Instead, he became its student. Years later, people still spoke of Raghav not as the man who tried to own the wind, but as the man who learned to live with it. His fields flourished, his name was honored, and his heart found peace, not from dominance, but from surrender. And so, dear listener, let me turn to you. Perhaps in your own life you are also trying to capture the wind. Perhaps you are exhausting yourself to control what cannot be controlled. Other people's opinions, the past, the future, the tides of fate. Like Raghav, you may find only frustration in that battle. But ask yourself this: what would happen if you stopped fighting? If you turned your sails to align with the wind instead of trying to own it? You might find that the very force you feared could carry you farther than you ever dreamed. Greatness is not in ownership, it is in alignment. The wisest power is not control, but harmony. So, stay with us until the end of every story. Each tale carries a breeze of wisdom that can change the direction of your life. If this story touched you, subscribe for more and share in the comments. What wind in your life have you been trying to control? And how will you begin to align with it instead? Remember, you cannot own the wind, but you can let it lift your wings.